Let me go to Frank in Kansas.
Good
Yes,
morning, Dan.
Frank. Good morning.
Hey, I had a question for you. I have a son with autism, and he's 18, and I'm his legal guardian. I would like to put money in a special needs trust for him,
Hmm.
some type of interest-bearing account,
Hmm.
minimally managed. What are your recommendations on that?
Well, my first recommendation is to do exactly what you've already done, and that's have a special needs trust. Put some money into it. Make sure your will is drafted in such a way that his name is not mentioned. Only the special needs trust is mentioned. I'm sure you probably have
Okay.
already done that, but make sure that's done. It's sometimes a common mistake that is missed. So it's very, very important
Okay.
that you do that. Um, the only thing I can and is this money that you may draw upon now for his needs, or is this money that you're setting aside for his needs way in the future?
Well, both actually, but primarily for the future.
Okay, so I would keep a good balance, but I think you need to have probably somewhere between 50 and 60% of that money as you put it in some exposure to the market, because you've got to get a little bit of growth. He's so young, and he's going to have lots of time for that money to grow. And I would probably be with, again, 50-60% of the money. I would be not overly aggressive, but I would look at a steady conservative growth fund. For instance, maybe a Timothy mutual fund, their conservative growth fund, or a few good, maybe utility company stocks. If you don't want to use a mutual fund, some good solid large cap utilities would be a great way, because you're going to get some growth by way of income through that, and you're not going to get a lot of volatility. So that might be another thing to do. So I think it's really important that you have a well thought out strategy. I have had a client years ago with a similar situation. Only her son now is an adult at 41 years old. She was well into her 80s, and she did not have a special needs trust. She was the sole caregiver, and she was concerned about her sisters, who were going to be the guardian after her, abusing the money and such. And what we did then was we put all her money in a charitable trust, and he was an income beneficiary of the charitable trust. And the income beneficiary, as an income beneficiary, some of the money was designated to be paid for his benefit to the group home in which he was living, and or a like home. And with the guardian obviously having rights to change all that, but couldn't really get to the money. And even if the person, her sister in this case, were to abuse the money and spend it, it was coming again next month. And it was a situation where you could get his bills paid, you could maintain his lifestyle. So I'm not suggesting you do anything like that now. I just say that to you for you to tuck it away in the back of your mind for many years down the road. But there's so many considerations in and around all these special needs. But I would be somewhat conservative. I like the conservative growth fund. I like some utility stocks that are paying decent dividends, 3.5-4% dividends, and you're going to get some growth from them as well. And I think that would be a good strategy for, again, 50-60%. The other 40 or 50%, I would put in a fixed income fund, about 20% of it, half of it. 50% of that money I would put in a fixed income fund. Again, maybe a Timothy fixed income fund or something like that. And the other half I'd leave in cash, so that you'll never have to be in a place where you're selling off any of those things in order to generate some cash for some immediate needs. And remember, you're going to have any dividends or incomes not being reinvested. Make sure that is critical, that it goes into your money market account within that account, so that it's continuing to replenish that money market account as you use it. Don't reinvest. And I think that would be a good strategy.